hang out for 60 seconds so I can try to pay off my girlfriend's student loans. And drop a follow, please, because I need to get 10,000 followers before I can start gaining money or earning money. Today I'm just going to be talking about some of the things that my girlfriend does for me. And we were kind of talking about this last night. She came over. She makes, like, the best little, like, art pieces. She's super big into crafts. So, like, she didn't make this one, but, like, she drops these off all the time, like, these little cards, like, just leaving me notes all the time. And then, like, this is a long time ago now, but this is our, like, she did our first year, and it's just, like, a bunch of pictures of us. But, I mean, it's, like, just tons and tons of stuff of us. And then also, this is a box. I painted the box. This isn't hers, so don't judge the artwork, because that one's mine. But I was like, dude, you make me so much stuff. I need somewhere to put it. So we had this box idea. Anyways, I mean, there's just tons and tons of things. And she writes me notes all the time. Like, as you can tell, I'm trying to open this box here. But, like, she painted in there. Got a bunch of stuff. We got pictures. We got more notes. Happy, like, anniversary cards. She does a lot of her own cards for me, which I think is absolutely freaking awesome. Like, just, it's like they're the best. And then, like this, again, like this little camera. It's really cute. Got all these, like, film pictures. Like, just super cool. She does stuff like that, and I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
If this popped up on your For You page, I'm asking if you would just give me some time so that you can hear my story. Hi, I'm Kaylee. I have over $35,000 in student loan debt. Yes, obviously it was my choice to go to college. However, I absolutely love psychology, so that is what I studied. And I did not plan on becoming a stay-at-home mom as soon as I did. But here we are. This is the season that I'm in life right now, and I love it. I love spending time with my baby boy. However, I want to help my husband out because we are stretched to the penny with our bills, and just having the student loans coming out within a couple months is going to seriously drain us more than I could ever even explain. Not to mention our roof is leaking, which means we're going to need another loan to get that fixed. Even though it makes no sense for me to work and pay a daycare bill, I have applied to jobs, nothing has worked. And so I am just using social media and hoping and praying that you guys will show up for me.
So last night, approximately 9 o'clock, probably 10 o'clock, I got an email from the Department of Education. I have a significant amount of student loans, and excuse me while I itch my nose, or have an itch in my nose. And I have been working in the public sector for over 10 years now. So as part of public service loan forgiveness. And because of the various stupidity that has come out of everything over the last 8 years, the SAVE education thingy that Biden was trying to do got paused. And so my loans were put into forbearance. Well, during COVID, those months counted. During this pause for the SAVE plan, those months do not count. When that pause went into effect, I was 26 months away from being able to apply to have my loans forgiven, because I've worked and would have had 120 qualifying months. But that all got paused. So right now I'd be less than a year away from having it done. My payment was not that much, and it was something that I could afford. Well, in that email that I received, it was just like, go to the loan calculator and see what other income-driven repayment plans will work for you. Well, I did that. My payment will triple. Triple. Let me do that again. Fucking triple. So I don't know how I'm going to pay this. Now, because the SAVE plan is still in adjudication, I may get away or get out of paying for a while, but I still don't know how the fuck I'm going to pay this bill when it comes due. I'm stretched as it is. How is this helping us?
about $50,264 of student loan debt. Hi everybody, I'm Alexis. I'm 23 years old and I have a dog and 3 cats. I actually graduated with my bachelor's in December of 23 and I've paid roughly $9,000 of that off so far, but I still have a lot. Last year in March of 24, I decided to go back for my nursing degree. I have about a year of that left. After realizing how much student loan debt I already had, I decided I wasn't going to take out student loans for my nursing degree, and I've been paying it all out of pocket. With that being said, I still have to pay all of the student loan debt that I already have, and because I already have a bachelor's degree, I do not get federal aid help or anything like that. I'm also 23, which means that they still factor in my parents' income. So I'm hoping to use any money that I earn off of here in order to help pay those student loan debts. We're looking to buy a house in the next year or so, and I would like to have it all the way paid off. Obviously, we all know the price of houses right now are not very great, but I'm hoping that with that student loan debt paid off, that we are able to afford a better house. I work full-time at a hospital, and I also go to nursing school full-time, so I'm very busy. I started TikTok back in November, but I really haven't been posting that much and everything. It was just kind of for fun, and I am hoping to keep it that way.
$500,000 in debt. How am I actually going to pay off these loans? Nobody thought that my joke earlier was funny, which I'm kind of bummed about. No, I'm still going to pay my loans even if I don't want to. So I have like a couple aspects to my loans. I have my government loans, I have my private loans from like undergrad, and then I have like a private loan / scholarship that I'm probably just going to convert to a loan and pay. In regards to my government loans, my plan is that I'm going to be paying the minimum amount and try to get onto the like save plan. And then my plan is to try to do the public service loan forgiveness if it's still around. After 10 years of payments, I'll still probably be paying around $120,000 to $150,000 in those loans, but I'll have $100,000 that should get forgiven. As for the other 2 loans, I currently have them separated. I didn't consolidate them. So the one that is a loan / scholarship, it is through the Inland Empire Health Plan, and this is if you commit to working 5 years in the Inland Empire after graduation, they will pay for your tuition and cancel out all of the accrued interest. When I first went into medical school, I really thought that I wanted to stay in California. However, now that I no longer live in California, my husband and I really like where we're at, and we would rather pay to have the freedom to stay where we are. It would cost a lot to move back, and the cost of living in California is so high that really I don't think that it would make much of a difference. Now, if we decide not to do that, then I would take that loan as well as my undergrad private loans, and I'm going to consolidate them into one, and then I'm going to try to make like monthly payments on those. This should lower the interest rate because my interest rate now is like 7 or 8%, and that should hopefully save me some money. My other plan is that after residency, I plan to work extra shifts higher than the amount for a full-time ED physician. Full-time EM physicians, it's usually around 12 shifts a month to get our like yearly annual salary that you see as like the I don't know the amount that people make. My hope is to continue working like I'm in residency, so working anywhere between 15 to 20 shifts a month, probably erring on the side of like 15 to 18-ish, and then taking all that extra money and dumping it into my student loans. I'm also going to try to get a job that has a nice sign-on bonus so that I can take that lump sum and also put it towards my loans as well. My other plan is to continue to enter the lottery, and hopefully I'll win the lottery and that'll pay them.
This is episode 2 of trying to pay off my student loans through TikTok. The last episode I made on this got over 12 million views, which is insane to think about. So I'm gonna be very transparent and tell you how much I made on that one video. On that one video, I made $1,469.10, which is absolutely crazy. With that money, I was able to pay off any credit card debt that I had. So my credit card is completely paid off. I'm also trying to put aside money for nursing school. For the next 2 semesters, my tuition is around $6,000. That is one thing I need to save up for first. Once I can pay off nursing school, then I'm gonna start chipping into my student loans. So this is episode 2. I'll let you guys know how much money I make off of my next few videos, but I want to thank every single one of you because it was all you guys. You guys made this happen for me. I blew up overnight. I have 167,000 followers, which is insane to me.
I am 200K in debt. Over 200K in debt. I owe 200K in student loans, and they just went into repayment, and I have to pay $1,349 a month to pay off my student loans. That's $1,349. That's a mortgage, that's a rent payment. damn near. With everything happening in this administration, it's hard for people to get on plans that allow us to pay a reasonable amount based off of our income, based off of just situations. And with the administration, there are things happening where they don't want it to be that, and they are making it extremely hard to pay back these student loans. All this to say is that no, they don't teach you when you're going to college to not take out all these loans. And yes, we could have been smarter, but we're teenagers at this time, and not many people have the money to go to college or, initially. So yes, we're all, there's a good majority of us who do have student loans, but a lot of us are the healthcare. A lot of us are the teachers. I went back, I got my doctorate degree, I got my nurse practitioner degree, and that degree in itself is going to be helping so many more people, especially what's going on now. So I get how people say, well, you should have been smart about it, but sometimes people don't have that reality. Sometimes people don't have that benefit. Because I did pay out of pocket my first few years of school, but my parents made too much money. And I didn't qualify for a lot of grants. I didn't qualify for a lot of things that didn't need to get paid back because they made too much money. Because middle class made too much money, but too less to actually afford whatever amount of college. Anyways, that being said, this video honestly is just to help push my content. I love making content, but it'd be very helpful if you would like this, repost it, go down my page, share my videos, because it'll just help me out. I do get paid for TikTok Shop. I also get paid in the creator program. Oh my gosh, this bug is... I also get paid in the creator program, so that would be big help for me, because $1,349 on top of rent, on top of everything else that you have to pay for to just live and survive is an extreme amount of money. So, and I don't make enough.
Shirley from Nelnet, if you are watching this, I am so sorry I crashed out on you earlier, but I had to. I'm over this. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but like, it sends me into a rage. I got an email today, a couple hours ago, saying that I haven't made a payment on my student loans account in 90 days. Do you know how much I've paid towards my student loan account in the last 90 days? $800. So you're telling me that just because you charged me $1,200 for a late fee and a delinquent account because I was deferred and my credit score went down 200 points, that $800, since it's not going to the principal, means I haven't made a single payment? So the minimum amount that I personally feel like I would have to pay to make any kind of impact would be $500 a month. Listen, I have a car payment, I have insurance, I have other bills, I have debt in other places, I have a life. I'm sorry, I work 40 hours a week at a place that I make not a lot of money, so I have a serving job. I shouldn't have to pay, or I shouldn't have to work overtime or a second job just to get by. This is insane. I'm trying to have a savings account, trying to pay for medical bills, real life shit. And a lot of other people aren't fortunate enough to have a second job or aren't able to work a second job, or, maybe they're making minimum wage because they can't get a job somewhere else. Like, the fact that I'm struggling and I work my ass off for a ton of money, and for you to tell me I haven't made a payment in 90 days, so that's going to reflect on my credit score and you have to report it to the credit bureau, go ahead. My credit score is already 500 now.
Let's eat my breakfast together and talk about why I like medicine in an attempt to get you to stay and watch this entire video so that maybe one day I can pay off my student loans that are now going to be accruing interest again, starting August 1st. If you've forgotten, they were already accruing interest that they weren't supposed to be accruing. So there's that. Things I like about medicine. Oh, actually helping people. Every now and then, most days, I come across someone who thanks me and means it. And that's really nice. I really like that. Yesterday I worked with somebody who was like, hey, thanks for not being a jerk. Sometimes we have providers that are just not very nice. And I'm like, I would love to continue to break that stigma. In case you're wondering what I'm eating, it's peanut butter on a hamburger bun, because we have no other version of bread, and we reduce, reuse, and recycle in this house. Can you tell I'm really stressed about my student loans? Because I am. For those of you that don't remember, I graduated in 2020 with $221,000 of total student debt. I have two certificates, a bachelor's, an associate's, a master's. I'm a working PA, and I have that balance down to $83,000. It's supposed to be $79,000, but they've been inappropriately applying interest anyway. And now August 1st, interest is coming back. So everybody else posts videos of them doing some monotonous task, and I'm bad at that. So here I am, asking you to watch the video and click the button so that maybe I can get enough from this here.
I have been paying on my student loan since 2008. I have never been delinquent. I have never missed a payment, and I've always made the payment that is requested, and even I've made additional payments or sometimes more than my payment. I have been in the forgiveness plan since 2008. Now, when I graduated college with my degree in education, I left with a little under $28,000 in student loans. I, to date, have paid $37,000 back to my student loans since 2008, but I still owe like $58,000. The math isn't mathing. I'm not great at math, but the math isn't mathing there. So I've actually paid off my student loans. I was rolled over into the SAVE plan. And if you aren't aware, SAVE plan currently is in litigation, and it has been in forbearance, which means that you do not have to make any payments and there's no interest accruing. However, our lovely government has now decided that starting August 1st, less than 30 days notice, interest is going to start accruing on your student loans. So yes, think about that. Your loan is in forbearance. It's in the middle of litigation lawsuits. You aren't required to make payments, but now interest is going to accrue, which means it's just basically going to drive up your balance. Can you make payments towards just the interest? Yes, of course you can. But I've been seeing a lot on TikTok, people are like, you need to find a way to get out of the SAVE plan. Okay, let's go see. I applied back in January and was told I wasn't eligible. They would then consider me for some other type of plan. Okay, well, here it is July 10th, and I contacted my servicer, Advantage, and they said they don't know. They directed me back to the studentaid.gov, and because it's been more than 6 months, they told me to submit an application. Working on my said application, it now tells me my repayment plan option. Yes, my payments are going to double, and I'm looking at about $900 or so a month, I guess. It's an estimate. The problem I have with this is, as of today, in the SAVE plan, my forgiveness is now January of 2028. Prior to the litigation and everything going in forbearance, my forgiveness was January of 2027. I still make payments even though I'm not required, and those payments do not count towards my payoff. They're just payments. If I opt, according to the studentaid.gov, if I opt to go into the only payment plan I am given, my student loan forgiveness starts over. According to this, it says I will now start again for 25 years. So 300 months, which means my forgiveness now would take effect of May of 2032. Make this make sense. Make this make sense to me.
Hey guys, I was hoping to see if anyone could clarify this for me. So, I made a payment, my minimum payment on my Nelnet account. My minimum payment is $602.81 per month. Of that, 360 of it went to my principal and 240 of it went to interest. That was on the 10th of July. And then on the 11th, I made an additional payment for $178. 111 of that went to principal and 66 went to interest. Can someone make that make sense to me? Because if I just paid off my interest for that month, how in one day did I accumulate $66 of interest? This is what I'm looking at, right? I made this payment on the 10th for $602.81. $300 was applied to principal, $242 was applied to interest, and then the following day I made an additional payment, and $66 of that went to interest. Why is that?
Girls, single moms, just supporters, listen up. Please watch this video to the end. This is for my mom. She just got her student loans and they're $82,000. And if you guys didn't know, you can get paid on TikTok per like video views. So literally all you have to do is watch to the end and like comment something. Preferably like a sentence over 9 words, but my mom is like the greatest person in the world. I stole her phone, but she's literally an amazing mother. She has raised 4 kids almost completely by herself.
Good morning, TikTok. It is day 12 of me posting consistently to pay off over $52,000 worth of student loan debt. If you're new here, I borrowed $50,000 for nursing school. This was over 10 years ago. I graduated 10 years ago, and I have been paying my student loans ever since, and I still currently owe more than I initially borrowed, and that is due to the interest rate. So let's talk about it. At the beginning of the series, my starting balance was $52,394, and my balance as it sits right now is $51,109. I have been throwing any extra cash that I have to this loan for the past 57 days to try and get this paid off as soon as possible, because it is driving me absolutely insane to see that balance so high.
Come walk a mile with me to pay off $94,000 in student loan debt. Every day I walk 1 mile for every $1,000 I owe in student loans, so we're walking 94 miles this summer. I'm currently on mile 53, and I can't even believe that I made it this far, because like I've said before, I haven't even walked 53 miles in a 5-year span total, let alone in 1 summer, let alone in 53 days. So I'm so proud of myself. Thank you guys for all your support. The goal is to get into the creator reward program. If you could like, comment, share, repost, follow, that would be appreciated, because I'm paying the bare minimum on these loans because the interest is out of control, and they're so far away from me that like bury me with them unless TikTok starts to pay my loans.
Did anyone else get that email from the Department of Education stating that your interest is going to start reaccruing on August 1st of 2025 if you were under the SAVE program for your student loans? I got that email, and I'm upset because, you know, I was one of the few that was actually paying them monthly because there wasn't no interest and it was doable. But I don't know. Once they start accruing interest again, I might be like the rest of the millions of people in the world and just not pay, because it's not going to make a difference. I don't know. Like, they already didn't forgive them. Just leave the interest off. We've been doing it well this long. I just feel like it's irritated me now, because now I feel like I want all the money I pay back.